Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be going over a quick snow event over portions of the Northeast and also for parts of Southern Virginia possibly as well. So we're going to be covering that for you guys as well as giving you my snowfall forecast for this quick event. This is going to be taking place tonight into tomorrow morning. Most of this will be coming overnight, probably in the early morning or very late at night, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 a.m. So it's going to be within that time frame that a lot of these areas get their snowfall. We're going to be covering how likely it is for you guys to get snowfall and much more in today's video. So let's get right into it here, and let's start off with your current National Weather Service page. We have wind advisories in effect for parts of Oregon and Northern California, as well as for parts of the lower Great Lakes and parts of the Ohio Valley, and then another area for parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, as well as central Alabama and northern and central Georgia as well. For parts of southern South Carolina, southeastern Georgia, and northern Florida, we have some tornado watches in effect, with some red flag warnings in effect for east central parts of Florida as well. Yesterday, we had a high temperature tide between 5 areas, all in southern Texas. Harlingen, Texas, they got to 95 degrees. So did McAllen, Texas, Zabata, Texas, 8 miles southeast of Pharr, Texas, and Falcon Lake, Texas. All of those areas got to 95 degrees yesterday. And the national low temperature for the continental United States was in Peter Sinks, Utah, where they got to negative 9 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday. The highest precipitation report or rainfall report was in Acme, Mississippi, where they got 4.05 inches of rainfall yesterday, and the highest snowfall report was 1 mile west of Story, Wyoming, where they got 17.9 inches of reported snowfall just yesterday. Now, just to give you a quick recap of what we saw yesterday, here's what the rainfall analysis looked like. So you can kind of tell where the heaviest hit areas are. It actually is a little bit deceiving, because if you were just looking at this map and I asked you where were the most tornadoes found, you would probably say somewhere in northern Alabama or around that area, but it was actually right through here. So this is where we saw the most tornadoes. We did see the heaviest rainfall, though, closer to the Tennessee border, along parts of northern Mississippi and northern Alabama as well. We even had some reports over 6 inches of rainfall in some of those areas, so they definitely got hit with more of the training thunderstorms that kind of just rolled through back and forth, but they didn't really get hit with too many tornadoes in those areas, although they still did get quite a few for those areas. Here's the storm reports yesterday, just to read you off a couple of fun facts from yesterday and just kind of read off how many tornadoes we had. We had 98 tornado warnings in the past 48 hours. So we had 21 in Mississippi, warnings, not actual reported tornadoes, but the warnings that were issued. So we had 21 tornado warnings in Mississippi, 55 in Alabama. We had 7 in Missouri, 6 in Arkansas, 4 in Oklahoma, 5 in Louisiana, 1 in Texas, 3 in Florida, and 1 in Georgia as of right now. And I'm recording this right around 12:40 p.m. Eastern Time, which would be 11:40 p.m. Central, or 11:40 a.m. Central Time, and that's when these reports are valid for. We're dealing with severe weather over the Carolinas and parts of Georgia and Florida as well right now, so those amounts might actually go up. We had 1 confirmed EF0 tornadoes, although there were 26 total reported tornadoes, individual separate tornadoes there. So even though we only have 1 that currently has an EF rating, we're still waiting for the Storm Prediction Center and the other National Weather Service people to go down there and survey the damage to figure out what classification they're going to put on these different tornadoes. That tornado that was confirmed in EF0 was in Mississippi. We had 2.75 inch hail in Gordo, Alabama, and 82 mile per hour reported wind speeds in Florida there. So we definitely had an active severe weather day. If you were looking at the radar, it looked very impressive yesterday, and it was just very interesting to look at the radar and how this was all playing out. And unfortunately, again, there were a lot of tornadoes right through this area, and I think the Storm Prediction Center really nailed this one with where they put the high risk. It's pretty much perfectly fit where the heaviest or the most amount of tornadoes actually were, and I'll keep on giving you updates as we get more storm reports, mainly just if we get any more reports on if we had any EF1 or EF2 2 or EF3 tornadoes yesterday. I'll definitely keep you updated. So here's what the European model is forecasting for later today. So this is basically right now, according to the European model. We're going to go in 3-hour increments. So this would be right around 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're dealing with moderate to steady rainfall over much of the northeast there. So really not dealing with any cold air pushing in just yet, but we're dealing with a big stretching high pressure all across parts of the of southern Canada into the Great Lakes as well. And this high pressure is going to be shoving itself down further to the south, and that's what's going to be bringing in a little bit of cold air. With that cold air, we're going to have to see how fast can this front, which is situated right over here, how fast can that move out? If it doesn't move out fast enough, then this is going to be a maybe 1 to 2 inch snow event for a lot of areas, 3+ inches in some of the Catskills in upstate New York. But if it moves out too quickly, then we don't get any snowfall for a lot of these areas. So there are a lot of questions, and there's still a lot of model variability, even though we're less than 12 hours away from this event. So this would be by right around 4 p.m. today. We're dealing with, and this is in Eastern time, we're dealing with moderate snowfall mixing in with a little bit of rain and snow there in parts of northern Pennsylvania, southern New York. Then going through the evening hours, so this would be by 7 p.m. tonight, we're dealing with, again, snow mainly in higher elevations, starting to mix down into some of the lower elevations, but still, it's confined fairly far to the north. Then as we get into Friday morning, this is when we start to see a bigger changeover to snowfall. So the European model brings snow all the way to northern New Jersey, Long Island, southern upstate New York, Connecticut, through a little bit of Rhode Island, and then into Massachusetts. And I think the bullseye area is going to be somewhere within here, where it looks like we could see decent amounts, maybe 1, 2, 3 inches of snowfall. Again, this is going to be a quick light snowfall event, but I did want to make a video kind of to just tell you guys about it, because it might you might wake up to maybe an inch or two on your driveway that you might have to shovel away. Actually, I don't even think you might have to shovel away most of that, because it looks like the sun and just the warm air in general should help melt that away. So I don't even think that you have to necessarily go out and shovel it, but that's definitely going to depend on the temperatures tomorrow. If they can get up warm enough above 32 degrees to melt away some of that snowfall. Then by Friday morning, so this is by 3 in the morning, or actually 4 in the morning on Friday morning, or tomorrow morning, we're dealing with moderate snowfall back through southeastern New England, as well as eastern Long Island as well, and then that moves out as we get to right around 7 a.m. So it looks like your morning commute is fine, as long as the roads that you're traveling on are all cleared, and it looks like this won't even stick to paved surfaces that much. So it looks like morning commute doesn't even seem to be an issue. It's going to mainly stick on grassy and colder surfaces, so the roads should be fine. They might be a little bit slick, mainly from rain and the snow kind of melting upon contact. You might want to watch out for a freeze over of any rain overnight, because it will get below 32 degrees in the morning on Friday for a lot of these areas, so that's also a big threat that we want to watch out for. Here's what the European model is showing for snowfall. Definitely one of the more southern track, or more, it brings the snow definitely more to the south than most of the models. It has 2 to 3 inches of snowfall in parts of southeastern New England, of course in the Catskills, and then also into parts of northern Pennsylvania. We have some 1 to 3 inch amounts, even 4+ inches in parts of the Catskills are possible. If we look at what the National Weather Service is showing, you're definitely seeing much more of a northward track with all the snowfall. So you're seeing the main bullseye through central and southern New England, and then in through central and southern upstate New York, northern Pennsylvania as well. And then you can see some residual snowfall as you get further to the south. That might make it to central New Jersey, southern Pennsylvania. We're going to also have to watch out for areas in southern Pennsylvania and maybe southernmost Maryland as well. You might get caught on the southern end of all that snowfall, so you could see maybe a few inches of snowfall depending on how that plays out. Here's what the regional Canadian model is showing. It only really clips southeastern New England and some of the higher elevations in Pennsylvania and upstate New York, but other than that, it keeps much of this area under zero snowfall from this event, and I think that's a little bit underdone. I think you will see at least a little bit more snowfall than what this is showing. Here's what the NAM 3 cam model is showing. And by the way, this is the one model that is showing some really impressive amounts over Southern Virginia. I'm not too inclined to believe that just yet. I really want to see another round of models that are showing that. If that is the case, then I'll definitely keep you guys updated on my community tab on YouTube, and I'll definitely make a post if the afternoon and evening runs of the models are still showing that. But this is the only model as of right now that's showing 2 to 6 inches of snowfall in Southern Virginia. Doesn't look too likely just yet, but I wouldn't count it out, definitely. And the NAM 3 cam model is also showing quite a bit of snowfall back through parts of southern New York, northern Pennsylvania, and also into southern and central New England as well. Here's my snowfall forecast with this event. I'm expecting under an inch of snowfall anywhere in this light blue area, and you can see that covers much of the Northeast except for areas in northern New England, and also a little cutout for southern New Jersey, northern and central Delaware, and east central Maryland. We're gonna have to see how far east this line or how far west this line is gonna get, because areas like DC, southern Maryland, and into northern Virginia, I might exclude you guys. Depending on what happens, I might exclude you from the under an inch area. So it's really borderline with these areas. Either way, it's gonna be a mainly very light snowfall event, and it might even be melted away by the time that you wake up in the morning and are able to see the snowfall. So it's not gonna be a big event either way. It's where you get maybe a few inches of snowfall that it's really gonna be noticeable. 1 to 3 inches of snowfall for parts of southern New York and also into central and northern Pennsylvania as well, mainly in higher elevation regions, and then also for parts of southern Vermont, western Maryland, western Massachusetts, as well as parts of eastern Connecticut, Rhode Island, and eastern Massachusetts as well. 1 to 3 inches of snowfall, and then I'm expecting a little area of 3 to 6 inches of snowfall, mainly just for the Catskills in upstate New York. The elevation should help you guys get over 3 inches of snowfall. Some models even showing 6 or 7 inches of snowfall, mainly on the highest peaks. So I think you go a couple thousand feet up in elevation, and that's where you can maybe get 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of snowfall. But for many of the lower elevation areas in the Catskills that are at 2,000-3,000 feet, that's where I think you could get maybe 3, or I would say probably 2 to 5 inches of snowfall would be a good bullseye for that area. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.